This is Valley News Live at noon.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Johnson. Temperatures are now hovering around 0 in some places, but it will drop again. Let's go right away to meteorologist Lisa Green with a first look at our weather. Lisa?
Well, good afternoon. Yes, we've had a nice break from the cold weather. Looks like we've got somebody up on the roof at Luther Family Ford taking a look at things there, popping briefly onto our screen. It's been a little snowy out there as well, but I want to show you something here. 0. Fargo, we finally climbed above the negative range at the noon hour today. So nice to see that number. It's funny how things change as we get into the colder months. 0 actually looks pretty good. Grand Forks 3 below. We've got some snow being reported there still. We've got some snow in Bemidji and in Devil's Lake. Bemidji, another place at 0. And check out Fergus Falls. 10 degrees right now. That's a nice start to the day, or to the afternoon rather. And so we do have wind chills that are going to be lower than that in a lot of cases. For example, Fargo's at 10 below. It feels like we're still below 0. Devil's Lake at 23 below. So we're still dealing with wind chills. They're not as intense as they were. So the wind chill advisory expired at noon and that will not get renewed. And we're looking at some areas of light snow still lingering in the valley. It's very, very light, but there's still some of those flakes out there. You can see them closer to the radar site in Mayville, and that extends basically from around southwestern Polk County down into northern parts of Cass County. So let's take a look at our hourly planner today for Fargo. I'm expecting to see those temperatures to climb up a degree or two more, a high of 1 in Fargo perhaps, maybe even more than that given that we're at 0 right now, but we'll watch those temperatures drop and slide back below that 0-degree mark again tonight. Wind should be light, but it may be just enough that it does bring down our wind chills again into those sub-zero conditions here today. So again, keep in mind we're looking at some cold temperatures, and we have had so much snow in recent days. Just got this in. The 4-day Christmas snowfall total. It started on Christmas Day, lasted through the 29th, and we're still looking at getting some snow today, but this is ending on the 29th. New York Mills had close to 2 feet of snow in the last 4 days since Christmas. Sebeka, 21 inches. Fargo, near Fargo, we're looking at 20 inches of snow, and many other locations that had more than a foot of snow in recent days. So it's been a lot. So those of you wishing for a white Christmas, you got it. And we're looking at now a very cold New Year. We'll have your New Year's Eve forecast coming up.
Thanks so much, Lisa, and it's a good reminder to make sure you have the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app so you can keep up with the weather anytime, anywhere. You'll get the latest forecasts and conditions so you can plan your day. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store and download it for free. New at noon, 3 children are now in protective custody after a toddler was found outside in the cold. Officers found the child yesterday morning in the 700 block of 23rd Street South in Fargo. 2 children were found in a nearby apartment. It's unknown how long the toddler was outside before being discovered. Police say the case has been forwarded to Cass County State's Attorney's Office for consideration of charges. Also new at noon, 2 people are in jail following a fentanyl and meth bust in Red Lake, Minnesota. Police say they raided a home yesterday and found a half a pound of fentanyl and 2 ounces of meth along with cash. Everything authorities took is on your screen right now. You can take a look. Authorities say the 2 that they arrested were women on drug charges. Their names weren't released. Fentanyl is linked to several deadly overdoses on the reservation. An outbuilding has serious damage following a fire near Fosston. The Polk County Sheriff's Department says it started around 8 last night north of Fosston. When crews arrived, they found insulation inside the building on fire. Firefighters put out the flames and no one was hurt in the fire, but authorities say the fire is not suspicious. 2 grandmothers in the Twin Cities are recovering from violent robberies while out Christmas shopping in St. Paul. An 81-year-old woman had one foot in a store entryway when a man ran up behind her and tried snatching her purse. Now the purse was looped around her wrist, so when the guy grabbed it, she was thrown to the ground and knocked unconscious. The man took off without her purse. A few days later, 2 men grabbed the purse of an 85-year-old woman who was putting groceries into her car. When she started following them back to their car, one of the men shoved her onto the pavement. She has a concussion and severe bruising on her face. If you had 2 doses of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine, studies show you may not be as protected from Omicron. But the good news is the booster dose restores that protection. It also showed that even with 3 doses of the vaccine, Omicron was still more threatening compared to Delta. A team at Israel's Ministry of Health looked at blood from vaccinated volunteers comparing Omicron-infected cells after 2 doses and then 3. Also noted in the studies, a clear reminder that even with less protection from Omicron, the 2 doses will still protect people from severe disease and even death. Meanwhile, Johnson & Johnson says its booster dose protects people against severe illness from the COVID-19 Omicron variant. One study from South Africa showed vaccine effectiveness rose 84% from 14 to 27 days after a booster shot. At 1 to 2 months post-booster, the effectiveness was 85%. Meanwhile, another study from the U.S. showed the Johnson & Johnson booster has a strong immune response against severe disease. The company says the studies are being submitted to a peer-reviewed journal. Next at noon, a little-known secret to return policies are making their way around, how you can still keep your items and get your refund. But first, Lisa will be back to tell us how cold it will be throughout the day. Stay with us.